Hello, everyone. Welcome back to more Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe 2. So first off, before I started recording, I went to settings and got a team called Settings World Champion, which literally requires you to move your settings around everything. I put them back as close as I could. Apparently, the only reason I did this is I missed some content a few parts ago because I didn't have this achievement. I only learned about this because I was watching a live streamer play the game. There was that Settings World Champion room back when there was that big room that was like all the new features of Stanley Parable 2, and I couldn't get in there. Yeah, that's what it was for.
All of his co-workers
It was just locked off.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
So yeah, there's still a few options I want to test.
Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly
Also, apparently there's an option in the settings that unlocks once you get, but it didn't pop for me, so maybe I just lost my chance.
Tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Indeed. So I have a couple I want to try. Like, there's the elevator. I want to see if that would actually do anything this time. Oh, yes, the collectibles again. There's one collectible left somewhere, and I don't know where it is. There's still a few places I haven't looked.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No! Yeah, let's try the elevator. I can't go in. Interesting. What about the bathroom? Okay, I can go to the bathroom. No, the bathroom didn't have... Collectible!
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward.
You're right.
I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Okay, well, it was... Okay, well, I can't even go into the room with the elevator, so that's out.
Into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
I'm gonna let him talk, because I think I've cut him off every time.
Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
You're right. The bucket's great.
In his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
But it's popping up randomly here. Anyway, 2845.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was
Maybe,
the
I don't know.
bucket guiding him?
Probably.
Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
So down we go. Oh, it's just loading.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
I'm not used to watching this full thing anymore. Usually it loads me at the bottom.
Reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I do love this bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large
door.
We're
going to escape.
Mind control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Oh well. That's tragic, isn't it?
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
It's true.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Yeah. Down we go. The end is never, the end is never, it's loading. It's great. Still love it. Okay, so this part's the same as usual. I do
As
know
the
some of
machine
these
whirred into
endings are
motion
just...
and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure,
Meaningless?
it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying
Never.
a bucket everywhere.
I love the bucket.
Farewell, Stanley.
I have seen interviews with the creators of the game. Apparently,
Farewell,
this
Stanley,
game
cried the narrator.
wasn't trying
As
to knock out
Stanley and the
Companion
bucket
Cube
were led
with
helplessly
the
into
bucket,
the enormous
so I'll try to reel
metal
those
jaws.
comments back.
In a
It's just a
single
really weird
visceral
coincidence.
instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Well, okay. It's been the exact same so far.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. No! The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, human mind is frequently empty within, or carnivorous void. But for use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is only true knowledge you really have. Will you take what you learn here with you to the world? Will you accept with an open mind that what may be challenging information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourselves and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Well, I don't know. Where's the bucket? I missed the bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets. The greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. Photographer experienced an atomic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from the exposure of this many buckets at once. Good thing I can't count, otherwise I would probably try to insist that was more than 25. A bucket with two handles. This bucket has been depicted as being having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life and been deemed as too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which is the medieval era, was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another. Not true, by the way, that is a false bit of history. By control of it, billions died in spite of it all. Simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. Now, like, I know the war they're talking about. There's literally a war of the bucket, but it wasn't actually a war about the bucket. I spend way too much time studying history to fall for that kind of thing. Cave drawing. There we know the buckets predate the existence of mankind. We do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical use of the bucket, by which time the bucket has already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity worthy of its treasures. Yes! It's great.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the serious relationship between the bucket and humanity. However clear the rest of the bucket may be, there is yet more it's always had to reach. This is inevitably for our own good. It's a hanging bucket. I want the hanging bucket.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
We're back.
Let Stanley
The bucket.
die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket
Yes.
should take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Well, you got exactly what you wanted. Well, that's the last ending I can actually think of what I would need to do, so I'm getting to start being more creative and running around. But, like, I'm gonna see if there's anything in that collectibles room, because that's the only thing I could think of. Yeah, I'll be right back.
But I have to put a pause on things.
Yeah,
It's
sorry,
just-
I just ran
it's
into
those
this.
figurines, those figlers.
This is right
I
after the
haven't
first
stopped
room.
thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your
looking back here.
entire life? Didn't it fill
is
you to the
great.
brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh, we're
I
here
would
again.
love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
And they're pretty cool figurines. I remember Stanley found the collectibles. Okay. Yeah, this is all exactly how it was the first time. That's all the same. Okay.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 to 6! And there's no splash screen here for some reason. Interesting. Very interesting.
And here was the second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own just by poking around behind the boss's office.
Oh, yeah,
you
that's right,
did that,
yeah.
Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in
yeah.
all sorts of
I
mundane,
like it.
unremarkable ways.
I like my stand collectibles.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
And the stairs they got first. I'm almost certain. I know my memory isn't great, but
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs.
like there was one in the
It was
warehouse,
the
but it wasn't my
third
third.
one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
I'm actually impressed that they actually got like all these voice
Let's
for
see,
number
what
it
came
could be.
next? Oh yes,
So I feel like
we
that'd
found
be
a figure in this
maddening.
pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in
What?
the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Yeah, sure, of course. Alright. Oh yes.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh. How you fixed Windows Movie Maker video by the narrator. Oh, this hurts. What's that? This hurts so much because like I was part of that scene that was used in English Maker way back when. It's like the aspect ratio. Okay, give him a little credit. Windows Movie Maker back then still had widescreen. YouTube didn't have it until 2008 though. There was a good 2-3 years that it did not have widescreen. So don't forget that little detail.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of
Did too
time
well.
making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything
Mhm.
else.
Okay, looks like they both lead the same. Yeah, they do. Okay. Is there anything here? There is, but was there anything? No, that's just roped off. Alright. And it's the bathroom.
Then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here in the boss's bathroom. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others.
Yeah.
Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh. Oh. You are in the present.
And then
Whoa.
There was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
It's Memory Zone, no! Well, okay, I guess that's another ending.
No, I'm not done.
What?
I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction.
Yes!
See how that feels.
Whoa!
Okay, yes, the boss's bathroom. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
They definitely would have let me leave without that statue, but I need the maximum collectibles. It's the collectathon need I have. Okay. It's the red door this time.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Come on.
Yes, nice. I love that video.
The door. No, I didn't want to try opening this door before.
Pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room though. A solid room.
Yeah, I don't mind them getting rid of the warehouse for this. It would have been a bit of a mess trying to fit that in. So, yes, let's go back down the stairs.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
I have to come down here and try. Is there anything here? Nope. Okay. Warehouse just says nothing. Fine.
This was our second Figly. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
No, narrator person.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
So, I just want to bring up, when I was going through the museum where we supposedly got that first one, my game crashed after I got that figurine. So, that first one should not be on my save file. Oh wow, we're all the way back in here. Can I fall down the pit hole again? Let me get the bucket.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
Jump
Look
circle?
how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Can you add to the jump circle counter? Oh, okay.
Oh, yes! The two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
What? They go to the same place. Alright, we're going back to Stanley's office.
And before anything else, there was your office.
Yep.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Oh.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed
Oh.
each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
Well,
Yes,
you did kind of
perhaps
confirm
that's it.
this.
Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be.
You want to go back pushing buttons?
Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore.
Oh no, wow.
But he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh. Okay, and we're back again. Well, I'll go back to doing what I said I was going to do before the collectables ending.
What could it mean?
Which,
Stanley
yeah,
decided
like,
to
it was
go to
like
the
right
meeting
here.
room.
For
Perhaps
the
he had
thing
simply
triggered.
missed a memo.
It was before the bucket. I still bucket.
Is Stanley without the bucket really Stanley at all? No, no, surely not.
Well, I'll see y'all in a moment. I got on the table. I was just screwing around. It's like, okay. Yeah, like, I was just crouching like this, and it worked, so, can I get... In any other game, I would assume this is a bug, but no, this is probably an ending.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
Yes!
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley. What are you talking about? He screamed.
Stanley doesn't talk.
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow. No, said the bucket. Not
Bucket
since
Stanley
the
doesn't.
evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No! Stanley screamed even louder this time. This is stupid! You are a bucket! This
Are you turning into the gremlin from Lord of the Rings?
Why are we even doing this? As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
You can only imagine what this is, right?
My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket.
No!
Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless.
Believe it.
You've demonstrated such bravery here today.
You monster!
Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket,
I make no
nor
such
the
agreement.
dark magic cast away inside of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I could try doing this again
All
without
of
the
his
bucket.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, well, let's hear it without the bucket.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until
Oh,
he
this
heard
makes
this
sense.
narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Yep.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure
Yeah.
and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Sure.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah. I can't pick anything.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue.
Okay, that works.
But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time.
It's
What
true.
if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one.
Ooh.
So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one?
Well, the fact you keep
Imagine
saying
if
this
you had
option
selected
says that it's not.
continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Sit here forever and ever. I can't pick the options anymore. I'm actually stuck. Alright. That's clearly the end, so... You know what? Why not?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. I gotta
At
hear what
first,
you have to say for
Stanley
yes.
assumed he'd broken.
Alright, we're here. So,
Well,
yes.
I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then.
Yeah.
Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on
I
where you
like
are
this.
literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Yeah, this is good music. How's that
There
miserable?
once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old, and was quite particularly gangly. What
Better.
Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way,
Ooh.
but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable, and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Okay, is there more? There's an instrumental still going, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's more. Okay, it seems like this is just over. Like, if I waited sufficiently and now. So, alright. Begin the game again. Apparently this is an ending too.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. And here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days. Had years gone by?
Yes, they have.
He no longer had the ability to tell.
It's been years.
But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay. Yeah, that was literally just an ending. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yes, I'm curious.
What did it mean?
Bucket, or
Stanley
Bucket's
decided
still
to
here?
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket! Alright, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so this is one I'm just kind of curious. It might not be an ending at all,
Stanley
but
was so
I have
bad
to try
at
it.
following directions. It's
First off, I don't have a
incredible he
bucket,
wasn't
but
5 years
this
ago.
lift right here, it starts moving on its own, so couldn't I just make it go and then run off?
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
I'm sure you're right. Can I get any lower from here? I'm just curious if I can actually just fall down. No, not really. Geronimo!
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Alright, well, let's go do that again with the bucket. Who knows?
To go back to the meeting.
Alright, so here's the bucket again.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true.
I mean, it worked in that
you can fall on a bucket
ending.
from literally any height and survive. Whoops. Looks like I was wrong.
Oh, well.
How clumsy of me.
Oops. Oh, alright. Yeah, I'm getting to a point where I just don't know what anything is anymore, so I'm on full guide mode
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So apparently there's one in the boss's office.
When Stanley
I skimmed it for
a
teams earlier, but
he entered the door on his left.
Yes, did they change this because I got all the collectibles? Yeah, they did. It's back to the original
Yet
room.
there was not a
Unfortunately, I
single
like the new
person
one
here
better.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here.
I like the broom closet.
So he turned around and got back on track.
I like the broom closet. Don't judge me. Broom, broom, broom.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I think it's here, so it might be those doors. Can I still open this? No, I can't, so it was that door. Well, cried. You're supposed to get cold feet and run back while it's closing. I'm gonna try this again, too, because it just feels weird that nothing comes of it. Pretty sure I hit up before, so I'll hit down this time. Alright. Yes. The giant music box. I like it here. Pressing down. It's the exact same place. The elevator's a ruse. Monsters. Oh, could they? Alright, well, I'm gonna be right back. Let's try this again this time. It's not even gonna be the right door. They might actually expect you to go. Yeah, let's just try walking down. I close the door. I do not, in fact, believe that was the correct door. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to try it with the boss's door directly. Yeah. These are the doors I want closed. I don't want to get too deep. How far in do I have to go for this?
Stepping into...
Yes, okay, there. I got it. Oh, that was tough. The barrier just gets completely cut off. Oh, and the door's open again. Okay, so yeah, I got it. Alright. Well, let's... Can I even go down anymore? Yeah, no, it's turned off. Oh, no, I can't go in there. Alright. Just keep going backwards. I can go back to the broom closet. No, no narrator. The narrator's just been abandoned. Poor, poor narrator. This should have been the cold feet route. Come on. You're gonna let me keep going back. This is gonna go all the way back to Stanley's room. The bucket's still there. Oh. Well, I can't go in here, but I can go to the room next to it, which is the black void. You are now leaving. It's the red door again. Escape pod bay, floor 760. How tall is this building? Wait a minute. It's the room we were just in. Hey, you even got number 432 over there with its really boring desk job. Like, seriously, look at that. That is like the most boring desk job ever. It's just a light pencil sharpener. You don't even have any pencils. What do you do there? Everybody else gets a nice computer. Is 432 get a computer? No. Even Stanley got a computer, but 432? 755, so 760 for the escape pod. I guess we're just gonna keep going up. And up and up, and this might be another bitrate killer. I'm sorry. This is really dark. Climb the ladder, Stanley. Climb! I'm really missing our narrator friend, though. Okay. Let's keep going. 758. Alright. I'm so glad this isn't ending. Just for how dumb it is. This is the same kind of dumb that's like, yeah, let's just make a whole bunch of endings based on a bucket. Escape pod launch bay! Escape! I'm going to reach the escape pod any second now. Is that the escape pod? Okay. What just happened? I guess I escaped. It's not like the narrator's going to tell me anything. Alright, let's try it again with the bucket.
Workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out.
We'll find out eventually.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
And here's the hard part again, because there's not a lot of wiggle room for this.
Stepping...
Yes, okay. Narrator's been abandoned again. It's great. Let's go. Okay, so far it's the same. Just, you know, with the bucket. Oh yeah, judgment-free broom closets. I love thee. Number of slides on this slide. Did that say slices? I don't know. I'm slightly dyslexic. Just a little bit. This is all the same as it was. You know, barring the fact that I have a bucket. This is all the same too. It's just the same. mean, you know, screw it. Why not? Let's do it all again. I want to see if I can go down. Now, like, so this ending is just exactly the same because there's no narrator. They can't even change the narration. But unless there's something that changes at the absolute last second, seems like it's gonna be the same. None of these doors seem to open. I mean, of course not. Why would they? Nah, of course not. Let's get up there. I realized that because of this ending, the implication is that we are on the 754th floor of the building. But in the dream ending, we're seen on the streets of Stanley went so crazy that he jumps out of the building that's 750 stories tall. He must have gone absolutely mad. Alright. Or I guess technically it would have been like 753 stories because we did go down a staircase for that. But still. Alright. This time I get to take my bucket with me. A little different this time. Yeah! Go, buckets. Oh, bucket! 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 Get out of here, bucket! Go on, spread your amazingness to these stars, to the cosmos. Go, bucket! Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, well, that was like the exact same ending for most of it, and then they just had this random change where who put the bucket in instead, which is great. It's beautiful, and I love it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Next time, I'm going to get a few more endings. There's not a lot of endings left. So there's that very real possibility I might just call it after the next part. Okay, so did that random option ever get added in, or am I just out of luck? I think I'm just out of luck. Apparently there is a setting in there that I'm just locked out of now. Well, yeah, until next time, take care, stay safe, have a good one. See y'all next time, bye-bye. Well, this is awkward. So I just did my little outro, as you heard. There's an epilogue now. I saw this in the menu. There's a good chance this epilogue won't be there next time, so gotta hit it. Epilogue. Epilogue. I do hope it's just the text this many, many years later. What story are we even following? It's gotta be a bucket storyline, but that aside, who knows? Oh, we're here! Didn't think we'd be going down this storyline again. This is the one where we had the skip button, and we just kept skipping. So going by the implication that the narrator is in Stanley's head, or rather, like, Stanley doesn't exist and the narrator is the real quote-unquote Stanley, then why can't we hear the narrator? Did the skip button just break reality? Oh? The fire is nice. I like the fire, but a snow bucket. Bye-bye. Oh, Moon! You look like you're made out of cheese! Moon? Moon cheese? Yes? Oh no. The chairs! Well, keep going. No moon cheese. Just dust. Keep going. Keep going, Stan. Oh? Oh. So is this literally just the epilogue? We're just going through different weather systems, different times of day. Oh. I found my way back to the room with the skip button. I mean, you know what we have to do next, right? We have to hit the skip button again. Assuming it doesn't warp me back the second I get there. Oh no, this isn't the room after all. This is the memory vault place. Right. Hey, maybe we'll find the narrator eventually. Who knows? Okay. Oh, there's a thing here. It says... Cookie Nine's blog. Review the Stanley Parable 2. Like something, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how true to my name with its sequel. Where the first game teamed with originality, Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole. Who cares? Monster. Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead we got inspired side quests collecting figurines. Blasphemy. This diversion feels incomplete. Thinking all the figurines gives you nothing! So she gives you an entire ending. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve from, I don't know. Thanks, Cookie Nine. You were one of the negative reviews, weren't you? Which makes that like 10 times better. The gym button! I can't hit the gym! Gym. Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build property to an entire franchise. For disastrous critical and commercial reception, the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they posted today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, and it turns out this could not have been further from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game, to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Okay, I'll follow the cable. Jim. I had to press it one time. Okay, I had to press it 2 more times. Jim. Okay. I still don't know any gyms. The figurine. The camera keeps going up. 25 collectibles. 25 times. Oh, never mind. So that makes way too much sense, but no. Nah. I just can't see everything around me. Oh, we're back inside? Okay. Where is this now? This looks familiar. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Can't open any of these doors. I might be locked. It's important. Oh, it's a computer. It's you! Hello again. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense! There is no integrity. Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect. Exactly. There is no integrity. Do whatever you want. Screw the legacy. Let's make Stanley Parable games till the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's run it through the mud and back. If people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together we are going to make Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we have to do is change the number in the game title screen. So I really need a dumb subtitle for the game, something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try to combine random words together to make a new title for our game. Stanley Parable 3. Stanley versus cheese. Yes. The Stanley Parable 3, Stanley versus cheese. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need for that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it. But I want you to say as well, yes. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. But you know what? Since you've put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never did find a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let me fix it. All right there. The achievement machine is all fixed. See, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. Stanley Parable cannot end. Its only spiral is on itself forever and ever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. Yes! It is currently at time recording this 11:35. Please just a slide until the computer is barely visible. Yeah, it's barely visible. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable 3. Stanley versus cheese. Alright, well, I was giving my outro before, so I'm not really going to give it again, but yeah, see y'all next time. Bye-bye. This is amazing.